Dark Magician! Dark Magic Attack! Go! Dark Magician! Attack the Black Skull Dragon! I activate Dark Magician's special ability now!
You what?
Conceal yourself with magical hats! I'll use those 2 magic crests to activate another special ability! My Dark Magician's Mystic Box! Attack, Heavy Metal King! Your Heavy Metal King has been shattered. The Dark Magician has chosen me. He has never let me down.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Toon Duelists. My name is Prototype and today I got a Dark Magician deck for you guys. Yes, this channel has been up forever and we still don't have a Dark Magician deck on this channel yet. So it was about time to upload one. Reason is basically for the last, what is it now, half year or year, the best version to play Dark Magician was the Primite engine, and basically any deck that plays normal monsters is played with the Primite engine, Red Eyes, Blue Eyes, Dark Magician, and it gets kind of boring, so we needed an alternative, and so I sat down and worked out an alternative that doesn't use the Primite engine, and it's basically a Dragoon turbo deck now. Your goal is to get Dragoon out as fast as possible. The deck does that really well and pretty consistent, and I'm really happy with the way the deck turned out. Of course, it's not a meta deck that you can take to locals, but it's perfect to play against your friends in casual duels, and it's pretty strong for that kind of duel too. So let's dive into the video and check it out. Alright guys, let's start off with the monsters. So we're playing 2 copies of the Dark Magician. My favorite design, by the way. I like this one the best. A lot of people like the OG one where the Dark Magician holds its head, but this one's my favorite for sure. Anyway, 2 copies are good enough because you don't need more than 2, and they can brick. They don't have to brick, it depends on what other cards you draw into your hand, but it can be a brick, and therefore 2 copies is the perfect amount for this deck. Then we're playing 1 copy of Timeos. Timeos allows us to fusion summon, and this is only a safety option for us because we usually don't use it, we don't play it. We only use it when we didn't draw any of our fusion spells, so that we can still go into the Red Eyes Dragoon. And it's searchable with Illusion of Chaos, so yeah, 1 copy is just fine, and like I said, it's just our insurance. We don't usually... the only time this comes up is when we draw bad. Then we're playing 3 copies of Magician's Soul. Magician's Soul lets you either special summon a Dark Magician from your deck or Magician's Soul. And we always summon out the Dark Magician, of course. Second effect would be to send 2 spell cards and then draw 2 cards. We basically never use that effect. We need this card to summon out our Dark Magician. And then we're playing 3 copies of Illusion of Chaos, and this card lets us add a monster from our deck to our hand that mentions Dark Magician or is Dark Magician. So Magician's Souls, Timeos, and Dark Magician are all searchable with this card. So this one is basically our searcher, and that's why we want to see this a lot in our hand, and we have some more other cards that search this card out. So the 2 cards I just mentioned that we use to search the Illusion of Chaos are the Herald here and preparation of reeds or rites, I don't know how you pronounce it. Yeah, so this one sends a monster from the extra deck to the graveyard, which is gonna be this Herald card here. And when this one gets sent to the graveyard, we can either add a ritual monster or a ritual spell. So yeah, this is basically our ritual searcher for Illusion of Chaos. And then this one lets you add a ritual monster of level 7 or lower, which Illusion of Chaos is level 7. So yeah, this one can also add Illusion of Chaos to our hand. And then we're also playing 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, because this card adds a lot of consistency into this deck, and you definitely want to play this. We are not playing some meta level here where you always draw the perfect hands with 1-card starters. You need Illusion of Chaos to get the best out of this deck. Now we're coming to the interesting part of the deck, which makes this deck here unique. We're playing 3 copies of Keeper of the Dragon Magic, which is discard 1 and then search a fusion spell. And then we are adding Magicalized Fusion to our hand with that effect. Magicalized Fusion lets us fusion summon a spellcaster monster by banishing its material from the graveyard. And then Eye of Timaeus is also pretty straightforward. We use a Dark Magician and then fusion summon from our extra deck. By using that Dark Magician we control as material, and then we don't have to use the other material. So basically we don't need a dragon monster to make the Red Eyes Dragoon. Fusion summon with this card here. And then for the rest of the deck we are playing 13 non-enchant cards. I'm playing those hand traps here, but as usual it's up to your preference. I mean, this is a fun deck, so of course you're not gonna put Fubalos in here, for example. But those are pretty affordable at the moment, so those were the non-enchant cards of my choice. But like I said, put Ash Blossoms in there and whatever. Alright, that's it for the main deck, 40 cards. Now let's look at the extra deck. So we're playing 5 fusion monsters in here, 2 copies of Red Eyes Dragoon, and 1 copy of Master of Chaos. Those are our Dark Magician fusion monsters. Dragoon is probably known. Very strong monster, cannot be destroyed by card effects, has an Omni Negate when you discard a card, and then gains 1080k if you do so. And you can also target 1 monster your opponent controls, destroy it, and then damage your opponent. So yeah, very strong effect, very good card right here. And then Master of Chaos is also really good, because we can, when this one is summoned, you can special summon a dark or light monster from your graveyard, and then you can also tribute 1 light or dark monster and banish all monsters your opponent controls, which is a really strong effect. And then if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target 1 spell in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So yeah, also a really strong Dark Magician fusion. Then we have the Quintet Magician here, and that card is super cool. Oh my gosh, guys, please, 1 second of appreciation, look at this card. And I love that we can summon this card out in this deck. With Magicalized Fusion, no problem. You usually have 5 spellcasters in your graveyard really quick, and then you can use the Magicalized Fusion to summon this card out. And also its effect is when you summon it with 5 monsters with different names, which also is easy and also happens all the time. You can destroy all cards your opponent controls, which is a complete board wipe, of course amazing too. And then this face-up card on the field cannot be tributed or used as fusion material, also it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So they either have to banish it or they have to go over it by battle, which is not that easy to do. And then last but not least, we have Mysterion, the Dragon Cannon. And this card is also very easy to summon out in this deck, because it takes a spellcaster and a dragon monster. And since we are gonna get the Dragoon out as fast as possible, which is also a spellcaster and a dragon monster you need as material, this card is pretty much always live. And its effect is also pretty cool, because when your opponent special summons a monster with a monster effect, you can target that monster and then banish it, and also banish all monsters with the same type, which is pretty amazing. If your opponent plays a deck that special summons a lot with monster effects and it's the same type, then that's a really big problem for your opponent, this card here. Then we're only playing 2 Synchro Monsters in here, basically the Herald, so we can use this Herald to send this Herald to the graveyard and then use its effect to search ourselves the Illusion of Chaos to our hand. And we're playing 2 copies since we're playing this card 3 times, and then it does come up sometimes that you can send twice, and that's why you need 2 copies in your extra deck. And then for the Link Monsters, we're playing 1 copy of Imdok. Imdok is very important and a combo piece in this deck, because when you summon the Dark Magician out with Magician Souls, you can link the Dark Magician away and summon out the Imdok here, and then this is a Dragon monster, so now your Magicalized Fusion is live since you have a Dark Magician in your graveyard and a Dragon monster on your field. Then Cross Sheep we're playing because we Fusion summon often, and then we can summon something back from our graveyard, so this happens a lot too. It's also a good card in here. IP, good monster, because with Cross Sheep you already summon something back since you Fusion summon, so you already have Link 3 in here. Then if you have 1 more monster on the field or you summon 1 more monster, you can already go into Link 4, so you have Cross Sheep up and you go into IP. And then with IP and Cross Sheep you go into Aframax, and then when Aframax uses IP, it cannot be destroyed by card effects anymore, so then Aframax is really hard to get rid of and usually wins the duel. And then down here we have the Link Climbing combo that I mentioned in a bunch of videos on this channel already, and there's for the guys that don't know it yet, there's a video on this channel that explains how you climb from Link 2 into Access Code Talker with just Stark basically. But yeah, I'll put the link down in the description and you guys can check that out. And that's it for the extra deck.
For I activate Dark Magic Ritual! This magic card allows me to summon a dark magical creature once I make a sacrifice! Valkyrian, be gone! Now I shall summon my 3rd magician! The Magician of Black Chaos!
Oh no!
Oh yes! This monster completes my trio of magical beasts that will combine forces to take you down!
Let's look at our combos real quick. I mean, this deck is pretty straightforward. There's no much comboing going on here. You're not like going through your entire deck in turn 1. This is a fun deck and it's fun to play, so that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Should be. Let's look at the first one right here. It would be Magician Souls and Eye of Timaeus. You use Magician Souls effect, discard it to the graveyard, and then discard a Dark Magician to your graveyard. And then you're allowed to special summon the Dark Magician. Then you use Eye of Timaeus, zack, zack, and you summon out your Red Eyes Dragoon. Yeah, like I said, pretty straight, simply forward. And then you have an Omni Negate on your field, and with 12 non-enchant cards in the deck, usually have 1 or 2 hand traps in your hand. So that's already like 2 or 3 interruptions. And that's for a fun deck for going first, pretty strong. Also because Dragoon is really hard to get rid of. In casual duels, often this will already win your duel. And the second combo is also pretty straightforward. You have your Magician Souls again, use its effect, send it to the graveyard, send Dark Magician to the graveyard, then special summon Dark Magician. Then you go into Link 1, into your Imduk. Here. And then you use Magicalized Fusion, banish Imduk, banish Dark Magician, and summon out your Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Okay, let me show you your full combo, or basically your best hand that you could have without being interrupted. So it would be something like that. There's a few variants of that. I will show you this variant and another one in a second. Let's start with this one. So you would normal summon your Keeper of Dragon Magic and use its effect, discard the Dark Magician, and add yourself a Magicalized Fusion. Then use its second effect, summon Dark Magician back. Then use Eye of Timaeus, which means you're gonna Fusion summon into your Dragoon, and then you could use Magicalized Fusion, banish and banish here, and then you could either summon out Mysterion the Dragon Cannon, for example, or you could summon out the second Dragoon, or what also would have been possible if your first fusion with Eye of Timaeus was Maester of Chaos, then you could summon out now the Dragoon and then you would have this one on your field. So I like to have this combination. Of course, it depends on your opponent, but this is, in my opinion, the strongest board you could start with. And then additionally, you have 2 hand traps. So yeah, this is pretty nice. Let's look at the second variant that we... Another really good hand would be something like this. You're gonna go ahead and normal summon Herald, use its effect, dump this Herald to the graveyard. The effect triggers and you're allowed to add yourself a ritual monster to your hand. You're gonna add Illusion of Chaos. You're gonna use Illusion of Chaos' effect to add Magician's Souls and then put Illusion of Chaos back on top of the deck. Then you're gonna use the effect of Magician's Souls, dump it to the graveyard, send Dark Magician to the graveyard, and then special summon Dark Magician. Then you're gonna use the Eye of Timaeus and fusion summon into your Maester of Chaos. And then Maester of Chaos on summon effect triggers, you summon back the Dark Magician. Then you're gonna link with Dark Magician into Imduk. Then you're gonna use Imduk and Herald and link into the Cross Sheep. Then you're gonna use your Magicalized Fusion to banish Imduk and you banish your Dark Magician from your graveyard. And then you're gonna summon out the Dragoon into a zone Cross Sheep points to. Cross Sheep's effect triggers, and you can summon Herald back. And then you got your Dragoon Omni-Negate, your Herald Omni-Negate, Cross Sheep, and Maester of Chaos. And on top of that, still the 2 non-ancient cards you drew in your hand. So this is also a really, really good end board. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And then I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.